there, Board Game Maniacs, and thanks for joining me for another exciting battle report. We are going to try our hands at none other than Marvel Crisis Protocol by Atomic Mass Games. This game, since it came out, has been selling out like hotcakes. Everybody is playing this game, everybody's loving it, so I figured I'd give my hand a try at this. And this is pretty much officially my very first game of playing this. My son and I, Brady, we kind of played it off camera a little bit to try to get familiarized with the rules. I read through the rule book like 2 or 3 times, so hopefully I won't make any rules mistakes. But if I do, I would love if you would comment down below and let us know the error that we made, or I made, because I am playing it by myself for this first mission, and timestamp the video and refer to a page number so that I can learn this, because I really love Marvel. I love superheroes, and I would like to continue playing this on the channel every month, like 1 or 2 games a month. So having said that, please comment. This is going to be a big learning experience for myself, and as well as any other people who watch this and they're wanting to buy it. So therefore, you know, you're going to help everybody else who's watching it too as well. And on top of that, as I zoom out slowly, you can see I kind of went all in on this because I love the game so much. Not the game, but the superheroes, Marvel. You know, I even love DC. All the Marvel people are going, no! But yeah, I do. I'm just a big superhero fanatic. And when I say all in, is I built a game board for it, as you can see, but I kind of made it generic, as well as I built some buildings, and I'm going to build more terrain for it too as well. You can see it's kind of showing everything here. Now, on top of that, this month, I don't know when this is going to be released, but I'm actually releasing how you build this gaming table, specifically from step by step, from scratch. So if you want to check that out, it's on our channel, or it will be released within this month that you're watching this Marvel Crisis Protocol game. Oh, so you can see the board is all set up there. And this is a long intro, so let's go to the book itself, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Looking at the book, this is on page 10 of the core rule book. There's only one book you do get with this game, so just be aware of that. And also it says CP01 Crisis Protocol 01. So because of that, they may be releasing other books as we go along. I don't know. But like I said, I bought in on this game, as in I got the core set, and then I got a couple of expansion sets and everything. And I'm going to be unboxing, assembling, and painting some of the expansion sets for this month too as well. So you can check that out on the channel. But in either case, it's on page 10. And page 11 of the core book. I'm following this diagram. I'm using all the characters and the cards that mention your team tactic cards. Now, the only difference is I added a little bit more terrain to this. And then, again, all of these games are played on a 3x3 surface. So you can see the Daily Bugle, 2 cards, 2 dumpsters, and then you have some tokens, which I'll explain. And you have also like some stoplights and some lamps too as well, but I added a little bit more. I'll show you the board, what it is. But pretty much the way this game works, what I'm understanding into the book, is that this game is played on 6 rounds, and whoever has the most victory points at the end of the 6 rounds will win the game. Having said that, if you manage to destroy all of your opponent's miniatures before the end of the 6th round, then I think you pretty much have the game. You won the game. I could be wrong. Again, this is my first official game playing this. I want to learn this. I want to get the rules down as tight as possible. So you are probably going to see some rules mistakes in this video. And I would love it if all the viewers comment down below, timestamp, refer to a page number, so that I learn the rules. Because I'm wanting to play this game a lot. I have another superhero game that I'm going to be playing in the future in the channel. And that is the Batman miniature game. Because again, superheroes, it may be DC, but I love Batman, I love superheroes, so we're going to be doing that too as well. Not this month, but we will be playing that in the future. So anyhow, let's go and look at what heroes are on which side, and we'll go from there. On one side, let's go in a little tighter, we have Team America, or a Team Captain America. And we have Captain Marvel, Doc Ock, which is really strange because Doc Ock is primarily, he's classified as a villain, but in the comic books, he does team up with like Spider-Man in a couple of episodes or whatever. But the thing is, what's great about this game is that you can pair villains up with heroes to be on the same team. There's no problem with that whatsoever, and I think that's awesome. So, Captain Marvel, Doc Ock, we have Captain America himself, the first Avenger. We have Crossbones, and none other than Iron Man. I really like Iron Man. And Captain America too, but I think I like Iron Man more than Captain America. Let me know who you like more between the two. But anyhow, that is on the one side. Let's go to the other side and see what's there. On the other side, we have Ultron. We have the Red Skull. We have Baron Zemo. And Spider-Man. Spider-Man, again, is one of my favorite characters. I have a lot of favorite characters, though. But you can see here, we are following from the diagram of how this is all set up. So just be aware of that. I like the way the board turned out too as well. So check that video, like I said. And here's a building that I built. It's made of just foam core, pretty simple. And another auto body building right there. Made a fire department. And a Stark Industry building. All of this is all made of just foam core. It's very simple to build. If anybody's interested in seeing a build tutorial on how to build these buildings, I didn't record one, but I can always build more buildings. I have a couple more that is put away, but I'd be more than happy to record a tutorial on how to build a building. So if you want to see that, just comment down below and let me know. And if I have enough people interested in it, I'll certainly shoot a video on how to build buildings for like this game and like modern games and so on and so forth. Then also you can see the Daily Bugle, which I didn't build, but it came with the core set, along with the cars, the dumpsters, lamp poles, and stop signs, or stoplights I should say, and tokens too as well. I do have like another lamp pole from a different system and there too as well. I have more terrain that I can put out here, but I don't know how this is going to go on this game, I should say. So I want to try to keep it minimalistic as possible so that I concentrate more on the rules and learning them. And also too as well, again, I'm starting to ramble, but each team, for this tutorial mission, it told me to pick team tactic cards, so we're going to go over to team tactic cards now too as well. For Team Captain America, the tactic cards that it did tell us to take or Brace for Impact. It's unaffiliated, so you don't have to be an Avenger or a Cobalt. It'll just work with anything, any faction. It's reactive. If one or more allied characters would suffer a collision, they may each spend 1 energy to play this card. Characters that spend energy do not suffer damage from this collision. It's pretty cool. And this is a reaction card. So when something happens, like somebody's throwing a building or you're colliding with something else or another hero, you can use this to get no damage on your collision. Another one is Disarm. This is an active card. It is unaffiliated, so you can use this like it's not from somebody doing a reaction, doing an action to you. This here is an action card, so it's active. When 2 allied characters are within 3 of the same enemy character, the allied characters may spend 1 energy each to play this card. The enemy character rolls 2 fewer dice on all attacks this round to a minimum of 1. Next card it gave us was Patch Up. It's an unaffiliated, it's an active card too as well. Remove wounds from the chosen character equal to the amount of energy spent to play this card. Choose a non-dazed allied character. Non-dazed allied character. Another allied character within 2 of the chosen character may spend up to 5 energy to play this card. And the last card for Team Captain America is it's a Ricochet Blast. It's unaffiliated and it's also an active card. If it is in Iron Man's activation, so you have to have Iron Man to do this, and he's within 4 of an allied Captain America, so you have to have Captain America too as well. They may spend 2 energy each to play this card, so 4 energy in total. While within range 4 of Captain America, Iron Man may use the Ricochet Blast attack shown above once this activation. Range and line of sight are measured from Captain America instead of Iron Man when making this attack. Iron Man may reroll any number of attack die during this attack. So pretty much what this is telling me is that if Iron Man don't have line of sight, but Captain America does, he's kind of using Captain America's sight, so Captain America's guiding Iron Man on where to shoot. So that is it for the Team Tactic cards for this side. Let's go and look at the other ones. And for Team Red Skull, the Tactic cards is Cosmic Invigoration. It's a Cabal active card. And with Cabal and Avengers, if you have half of your team is on the list of one of the cards that you get in the core box saying that these are the Avengers, then you have an affiliate of being an Avenger. Or if you have half your team that is Cabal that's on the list, your affiliate is Cabal. So just be aware of that. So anyhow, Cosmic Invigorator. If Red Skull is within 2 of another allied character with an active token, they may spend 2 energy each to play this card. Remove the active token from the allied character and roll 3 dice. For each exploding die, it's an exclamation mark, like a crit, a wild, and a hit rolled. That character suffers 1 wound. That's pretty cool. Another active is called Sucker. It is unaffiliated. When 2 allied characters are within 3 of the same injured enemy character, they may both spend any amount of energy to play this card. The enemy character loses energy equal to the total amount spent. Interesting. And also we have 1-2 punch, unaffiliated, reactive. When the active character gets an enemy character with an attack and a target character is within range 2 of another allied character, those allied characters may spend 1 energy each to play this card. Add 2 dice to the attack roll. Pretty cool, it's a bonus. And Trip Up, unaffiliated, reactive. When an allied character targets an enemy character with an attack during its activation and the target character is within 2 of any other allied character, the allied characters may spend 1 energy each to play this card. If the target character is dealt wounds by the attack after the attack is resolved, it suffers the stun and stagger special condition. And that is it for the Team Tactic cards for each side. I know it's kind of boring to be explaining all this, but I'm doing this in the perspective of somebody who's never ever played this game before, such as myself, and to learn what each card is, because when Brady and I did play off camera, we didn't finish the game though, we just kind of tested out the rules. We always kept forgetting about the Team Tactic cards, which you're probably going to see in this game too as well. And if I should have used it at a certain point, like I said, comment down below, refer to page number or the tactic card, and timestamp the video. Alrighty, so that is it for that. Let's go on for more explanation. The next thing I want to talk about is the crisis cards. And these come in either red, they come in red and blue. There's one that's extraction and one is secure. Secure is blue and extraction is red. But it has a point value of 17 on these cards, but you can get other cards and other expansions that tell you, and that's how much point value you get to build your army, or your team, I should say. Now, with the Daily Bugle 17, it says struggle for the cube continues. It tells you about setup, so place 5 cosmic cube fragments, which are assets, as shown on map F. So what that means is you look in your map things and you find map F, and these stars indicate the cosmic cube fragments, and it tells you exactly where to place them on the board, which is cool. And it tells for scoring. Players score 1 victory point for each fragment held by a character they control during the cleanup phase. And also it says interact, cosmic cube fragment. Pick up a cosmic cube fragment. So to interact, you have to pick it up. During the power phase, each character suffers 1 wound for each cosmic cube fragment it holds. Characters gain energy equal to the amount of wounds suffered. That's pretty cool. Now, to pick up the fragments, you have to spend 1 energy. It don't cost an action, you just have to spend energy to pick it up. And then this one here is Riot Spark Over Extremist 3.0. And this here is a secure. So place 4 Extremist Council, target of opportunity is shown on map D. So, I know I'm going over this pretty quick, but I'll explain it more as we go along. But you can see there is the stars and tells you exactly where to place them. So that's pretty cool and is on map D. I like how that works out for this. It's really smart of them to do it that way. And setup is okay, I already read setup. For scoring, players score 1 victory point for each Extremist Council they secure during the cleanup phase. So the same thing, victory point by securing it, victory point by securing it. Interact Extremist Council, remove 1 wound from a non-dazed character within range 2 of the Extremist console. So therefore, that is it. Now, talking more about these cards is, again, where they have the number 17. Sometimes you will have like one that says that has a higher number, one that has a lower number, and then that's the amount. And just say that one character says, hey, I like this one. So then that's how much the blue player has for point-wise to build his team. And then the red player would have that many points for building. That's what I'm understanding. If I'm wrong, like I said, comment down below, timestamp, and refer to a page number. I'm going to keep saying this over and over again in this video because, I want to get these rules down as tight as possible to play further games on the channel and enjoy it. One other thing I like to do too as well, just to talk about quickly, is I got this, I printed this out on, I think it was a Board Game Geek. It's a website under the files, and it's quick reference. So it gives you like how you can go. There's quick reference in the book too as well, but this here, it's just one sheet. I printed it out. And another sheet right there, and it tells you all about throwing terrain, attacks, toward, away, movement, everything like that. And I also printed out like condition tokens, what each condition token is. Objective tokens. Let's see, objective tokens. And other tokens. And token overview. So see, like, I got a lot of stuff in front of me, so I hope I'm not going to screw up with the rules. Anyhow, that was a long kind of intro for this game. So, oh, by the way, this is the round tracker. Sorry, my bad. So it goes up to 6 rounds. And whoever hits 16 victory points first wins, or if they kill their opponents, or if you go to the end of the sixth round, and then you have to see who got the most victory points. Whoever one has the most victory points wins. There's all different stipulations in the book, which I'll go over if we do come across that. But now, let's start this epic battle of goodness off, shall we? It does say in the book that the first player, the player who has the first player token, the initiative token, which is this thing right here. Get it in focus. There we go. Goes to Captain America's team, so they get to go first. So the way this works is one goes, the other goes. One goes, the other goes, until teams are done. Excuse me. All right. So it is on to the Captain America side first, because they got the first player token. Let's go on. Quick look at anatomy of a card, and when I say quick, I mean very quick, because there's lots of tutorials online for this, which I've been following too as well. But this is your amount of hits you can take. 5 for Captain America. Movement is medium. His height is 2, and he has 4, 2 as well. I struggled with the last one because I had to really think for a second. But that is the point cost or threat level of the character. So when you see like them cards that had 17, you would, this plus whatever the other point costs of all the characters are to add up to make your team. Also, we have a defense. It can be either physical, electrical, or mystical, I think it is. So physical defense, and then you have like special abilities that don't cost energy, and then you have attacks that cost energy. And also these ones here, it says in the book for this is, you know, you can have active abilities, reactive abilities, and abilities that are constantly on. So these are reactive, and it costs 2 energy to do that one or that one too. So I'm not going over this because we will be using it in the game and you'll see. And if we look at Captain or Iron Man's card, this here is it's like an attack superpower, so it don't cost an action, but you have to pay your point cost. As opposed to this one, this here is more of like a reactive, that it's you are reacting to what somebody does, and you pay the energy cost, but you don't have to count that as an action. And you have one which has the infinity symbol. I can't even talk right now. And what that means is these are always on. They're inert, or they're just constantly there. Don't cost anything to use them, and so on. So anyhow, let's activate Captain America first. And you can see his movement is medium. So again, each turn, players have 2 actions they can do, but they can do their free actions too as well. Since Captain America's movement speed is 1, or medium I should say, so we place medium template onto him. He's going to go straight. Now these pivot, so you can go around turns, and unless they have like they can climb or fly or what have you. But Captain America, he is just going up medium. You don't have to do your full movement too as well if you don't want to. So I'm not going to place him exactly on it. I'm just going to place him beside it. And with the cards, these here, your crisis cards, this here is called an Extremist Council, which is right there. And it says here, scoring. Players score 1 victory point for each Extremist Council they secured during the cleanup phase. Interact Extremist Council. Remove 1 wound from a non-dazed character within. So, if I'm within range 2 of this and I got wounds and I'm not dazed, then I can remove 1 wound. But right now, if Cap stays there for the first round, he is going to be able to collect 1 victory point. So I think that's what Captain America is going to do so far, is just move up there and stay where he is. He still has 1 more action left. So what I'm going to do, these are pretty much range rulers. They come in different ones. So the 1 is just any one that is like this size. It's roughly about 1 inch maybe. And then this here is a range ruler of 2. We also have a 3, 4, and 5 that you can use. And then we have movement, which you've seen already with the medium for Captain America. But what Captain America is going to do is he wants to be close enough so that he can claim it. But he'd be on it for if he ended his turn right there. But for his second action, he's just going to go up a little closer, move up a little further ahead. Not too much. He still wants to keep in base contact just for safety, and still try to keep his distance for anybody here that will target him for an attack, possibly this round, which I don't know. So that ends his turn. So I put a check mark beside Captain America to let everybody know that he activated. Now we're on to the Red Skull's team to do the first activation. Before we go any further, these are energy tokens. Now at the beginning of the game, each character gets 1 energy token unless otherwise stated. And you gain more energy tokens during an activation. You know, if some character attacks you and does wounds to you, then you get energy equal to the amount of wounds suffered. Not dealt, but suffered. And so on, but you'll go over, you'll see all of this as we go along so far. So I'm just placing back because everyone starts off with 1 energy. Anyhow, it's on to the Red Skull's team. Who's going to go first? Black Widow decided to go first on Red Skull's team. So she has a longer movement. She's a lot faster. It's a large movement. But she's choosing not to go that far. She's only going to move up to be in base contact with this Cosmic Cube Fragment. Now, that was her first action. And what she's going to do is she's going to spend 1 of her energy to pick it up. Because it don't count as an action to pick up a token, but you have to spend an energy to pick it up. That's her energy, so she spent this and she's going to pick this up. So this goes on her card. Now, what that one does is if you look at this one, you can always refer to these. They are not secret. Anybody can look at them, and anybody can look at each other's team tactic cards too as well, because it does say in their rule book, it's good to know your enemy. So with this here, for the struggle for the cube content, players score 1 victory point for each fragment held by a character they control during the cleanup phase. Also says interact. Cosmic Cube Fragments. Pick up a Cosmic Cube Fragment. During the power phase, which is going to be the beginning of each turn where they get an energy, each character suffers 1 wound for each Cosmic Cube Fragment it holds. Characters gain energy equal to the amount of wounds suffered. So because of that, she's picking this, she's picking this up and putting it on. So she don't suffer a wound yet, but she will suffer a wound later on at the start of the next turn. So anyhow, that was her first action. I think for her second action, she's going to make her way, because she's pretty fast. She's going to make her way this way. Just like that. So she's close to the 3.0. I can't remember the name. Extremist Council 3.0. That's the name of it. I remember it. Yeah. So that's her second activation. I'm going to put the activation token there. And I'm putting this onto her card. And she spent that. And there's the check mark. Now, at the start of the next round, if she is within 2 of this council, she gets removed one wound, which she's going to get at the beginning of the next power phase, because where she picked up the Cosmic Cube token. So just be aware of that. On Cap's side, who's going to go next? None other than his buddy Iron Man. I don't know if you can call him buddy really, but anyhow, they have movement. He has movement speed of medium. So again, he's going to go up to this Cosmic Cube fragment. That was one action. He's spending 1 energy to pick it up. And for his second action, he's going to move over by Cap. Just like so. That'll end his turn. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we picked up the fragment, but he's going to suffer a wound at the start of the next power phase. But by being close to the Extremist Council, he's going to be able to remove that wound. So that ends Cap's turn, and we're on to the next activation for the Red Skull team. Next on the Red Skull team, it's Red Skull himself. He's activating. So for the first turn, he is going to move just, he's going to go base-to-base contact. I'm just sliding this out of the way because it will be right there. With the Extremist Council. So he did that. He don't interact with it as in like paying an energy. So that was his first action. Now his second action, he's going to do one of his superpowers. Let's go to the card and look at that. On this card, if we go down a little bit tighter, we see here it says Cosmic Cube. It costs no energy. He already has, the 1 energy. I just got his activation token in my hand. It says action. So when it says action, these superpowers are usually free. You don't have to pay the cost for the energy, unless it says action in the beginning of it. And this here says action, so it counts as one of his actions. And it's going to be a second action. This character gains 3 energy. Roll 5 dice. For each skull or blank roll, this character suffers 1 wound. This superpower can be used only once per turn. 5 dice for his second action. He rolls them, and again, for every blank, and skull, he suffers. So that's 3 wounds he's suffering right there. That's not good. But he also gets some energy for it. So let's add the energy and the wounds. That's 3 wounds. Bad. You can see here he's got 3 more energy. So that's 4 energy. And for his trouble, he got 3 wounds. Now, one thing I want to point out is I've looked in the rule book. So the amount of energy each character can hold on his card is a maximum of 10 energy. If he's going to get any more energy past 10 that is on his card, then they are just gone. You don't even get to keep them. They're lost into the air or the warp or whatever you want to call it. But anyhow, that is going to end Red Skull's activation. And you can see there, it ends Red Skull's activation. Looking at the crisis cards here, just a little closer, where it says interact. Extreme Council, remove 1 wound from a non-dazed character within 2 of the Extremist Council. And don't say add it for a cleanup phase or anything. You can do that anytime you want. But because it's interact, you have to spend an energy to do so. So I'm going to do this right now for Red Skull. He's going to spend 1 energy for the interact, and then 3 wounds go down to 2. And there's the 2 wounds. For Black Widow, because she got the fragment of the Cosmic Cube, she's going to get a wound, but not until the power phase, which is the beginning of next turn. And that's the same for Captain America. Well, Captain America didn't pick him up. So I think it was only, Black Widow that picked up the first Cosmic Cube token. I thought there was another one. But no, because she's so fast and stealthy. You don't... Oh yes, Iron Man picked up one. So Iron Man also, at the beginning of the power phase, will suffer a wound, but he's within 2 of the council, so it'll just be removed. But it's, I think it's like I said, it's an interact, so he has to spend an energy to do that. All right, so we're on to the next activation, and it's going to be Team Captain America's turn. We are going to activate none other than Captain Marvel herself, and she's going right here, but it don't matter. She's right there, and for her, that was just one action. She's going to spend 1 energy to interact to pick up this Cosmic Cube token. And for her second action, she is going to move towards Black Widow. Now, she may be in range to use one of her powers if she wants to, but she wants to get a little bit more closer, I think. Let's just check. Sorry, I'm kind of grabbing the measuring tool, the range tool. So if I want to attack her for a second one, to try to stop her from getting a victory point, she could do that. She's going to suffer 1 wound for her power phase. So I have to think if I want to try to whack the Black Widow, if there's a push thing that she can do or not. So let's take a look at that. But she don't have any energy, so it's going to have to be one of her free attacks. Let's take a look at her card and figure that out. On Captain Marvel's card, you're looking at her types of attacks that she can do. So ones that are free anyhow are just the first 2. So the strike, it's at range 2, and energy blast at range 4. So she's not even close to try to hit Black Widow. So because of that, she's just going to move up closer to the council. And she's moving up in the open because she's Captain Marvel. Whoop! Just like that. That ends her activation. Next we're going to do Spidey. And Spidey's he's pretty quick. He has a movement of large. So Spider-Man is just going to move up to this Cosmic Cube fragment like that. He's going to spend his 1 action so that he can pick it up. When I say spend his 1 action, I mean spend 1 energy to pick it up. And after he did that, he's going to suffer 1 wound. He has to be kind of within 2. Because you can see there. So if he does another move, he's going to be in close enough range so that he can get rid of that wound. So he's going to move here. And plus he's going to try to flank to go over that way. So he's going there for his second action. Let me put his check mark down. Captain America's side, we're going to activate Doc Ock. And he's got a speed of medium. So he's going to go boop. Just like that for his first action. And I think for his second action, because he can't really benefit for anything here. Yeah, let's move him this way a bit. Just like that. So his second action, he's moving there because he got a speed of medium. And he's done of his activation. Now we're on to the Red Skull's team. Gonna activate Ultron, and Ultron is seeing that Black Widow is going to be in some trouble here, so he decided to go up for 1, and he's gonna go up for 1 more because he's offering some assistance. Oops, not even on camera. He's offering assistance. Because Doc Ock is going there with Captain Marvel. 2 of them are pretty powerful. I know Black Widow, she's got her stealthiness and everything else. She's still a human with I didn't know, but she has some super soldier serum into her, according to what I read. Not in the book. Or maybe it was in the book, I can't remember. Maybe it was Argo. I don't know. But in either case, he's got to offer some assistance because, there's some danger going on there. All right, next activation on to the Team Captain America, and the only one left to activate is Crossbones. Crossbones is a brute, but he's very, very slow. You can see he only has a movement of small. But he noticed that Spider-Man's coming close, so he's going to go for 1. And he's going to go for 2. And that ends his activation. Since we're done in the activation phase, we've gone to the cleanup phase. So first thing is players score victory points from crisis cards. Mark these points on the mission tracker. Remember, the crisis card's the one that has the numbers on them, which is the 17. So let's do that before we go to the next step for the cleanup. You can see here, for this one here, which is the Extremist Council, player scores 1 victory point. Each Extremist Council they secure during the cleanup phase. So let's look at that one first. Let's start off with the Red Skull team. He is right here. So because of that, he's going to get 1 victory point. Now, on top of that, we'll go over to Spider-Man. He's on the same team. He's not in base contact, but he's within 2. So something else is going to happen, which is you remove 1 wound from a non-dazed character within, but he has to spend 1 energy because it's an interact. He don't have energy right now, so he's not able to do that. And if we look here, we got Black Widow. Now, with Black Widow, she don't have any wounds on her right now, and she is not touching it, so she don't get a victory point for that. Neither does Ultron. And you can see here it is Captain Marvel and also Doc Ock. Why am I? If Captain Marvel and Ultron, if Black Widow and Ultron were touching this council, and Captain Marvel was too as well, they would get the victory point because they outnumbered they're contesting it, or I should say Captain Marvel is contesting it, but because there's one more extra on this side than Captain Marvel's side, they would get the victory point, but they're not touching, so they don't get any. So 1 victory point for Red Skull, and if you look here with Captain America, he's going to get a victory point because he's touching it too as well. So let's give the victory points before we go on to the next step of the cleanup phase. Looking at the victory point tracker, Red Skull's team is blue, so they get a victory point. And also Captain America's team gets a victory point, so they're tied at the moment. Back to the crisis cards. For the next part, which is the cube fragments, players score 1 victory for each fragment held by a character they control during the cleanup phase. So as we know, you can see here, Spider-Man on Red Skull's team got a fragment, and so does Black Widow. So because of that, Red Skull team goes up 2, so they're leading by 2 victory points right now. And on to Captain America's side, Captain Marvel has 1 of these tokens, and Iron Man has 1 of these tokens. So therefore, that's 2 victory points for Captain America's side. And that brings it to another tie, yet again. All right, so that's part of the cleanup phase. Let's go to the second phase in the cleanup. Second part of the cleanup phase, resolve players' effects that occur during the cleanup phase. So nothing else occurs during the cleanup phase right now. So going on to the third one, resolve effects from crisis cards. The player with priority chooses the order. So the crisis cards is we have to resolve now. With the effects of the crisis cards, the only thing here that I can see that I can do is with the Daily Bugle for the Ride Sparks over Extremists, is that Red Skull's the only one that has 3 wounds onto him. And he can interact by spending an energy from a non-dazed character within 2 of the Extremist Council and remove 1 wound. So he did that, he removed it, and that's all you can do for that. So with the next step after that, it would be number 4, but characters that are dazed, remove the damage, flip it over, but none of them are dazed, so we go on to number 5. If the player activated the last character during the activation phase has a priority token, then it is past the opponent. Now, the last person to activate, actually, I didn't record it because I totally forgot, was Baron Zemo. I'll show you where he moved. But Baron Zemo was the last one to activate. They didn't have the activation or the priority token, so the priority token stay with Captain America's team, but it don't mean they go first. It just means that they still have the priority token. Number 6 is remove all activated token characters, and number 7, move the round token to the next round in the mission track and begin the new power phase for the next round. So we do that, move up the round track to round number 2. I removed all the check marks off of the board, the activation tokens, just call them check marks. In either case, don't matter. And you see Baron Zemo is right here. So he was here, he's got a movement of large, so I moved him twice. Now, the reason why I didn't put is it does say that you get a victory point for each council that you secured. So if the 2 of them are secured in the council, it's not in contest. You don't get 2 victory points, it's only going to be 1. If I am wrong, timestamp the video here, refer to a page number and let me know if that is incorrect. But that is it for this round. We're on power phase step. Since we're on round number 2, we're on the power phase part, and we do know that something happens during the power phase part according to the crisis cards. And if you look here for the crisis cards again, just so that we can be on the same page, is during the power phase, each character suffers 1 wound for each cosmic cube fragment it holds. Characters gain energy equal to the amount they suffered this way. Starting off on Iron Man's side, he has a cosmic cube, so he suffers 1 wound, but he gets 1 energy for it. And on top of that, because this is the start of the new round power phase, he gets an energy. All characters will get an energy. So again, Cap will get an energy. Crossbones an energy. Now, Captain Marvel has one of these too as well. So she's going to get a wound if I don't drop it, and an energy because she suffered a wound. But on top of that, she gets an extra energy because it is the start of the round. Now, Doc Ock, he just gets an energy because Doc Ock, and you don't get a wound or anything. And that's it for this side. And on this part, Spider-Man, he gets an energy plus an energy because he suffers a wound because he has a cosmic cube. Just like that. Now, Red Skull gets an energy. Baron Zemo gets an energy. Ultron gets an energy. Black Widow suffers a wound and an energy, because she has that, the Cosmic Cube fragment. And that is it on that side. So now, that is the power phase. Now we're going on to the activation. Red Skull team goes first because Captain America's team went first last time. Even though that they have the first person priority token on their side there, they still get to go first. Since we're doing our activation, Ride Sparks over Extremis 3.0, and it says interact. So you spend the energy to interact, remove 1 wound from a non-dazed character within 2 of the Extremis token. So having said that, before we even start with more of the activation, Spider-Man is within 2, so he's going to move that 1 wound and he gets rid of the energy. Same goes for Iron Man, and same goes for Captain Marvel. Not even on camera. Also the Red Skull too as well, because he's touching the Extremist token, the 3.0. So again, spending it, so he got no wounds again. Starting off with the Red Skull team, we're going to activate Spider-Man first. Now he has the ability of Wall Crawler, and it is inert or an always active that don't cost energy to use ability. It's a superpower. With Wall Crawler, what that means is when he is doing his movement, he is counted at a size 5 using his Wall Crawler ability instead of his normal size of 2. So therefore, this building is a 3, so therefore he can climb on top of it with no problem. And his movement is a large, and you can see he can get up right up there. So he's going here for his first action. He's going to spend his energy right here to interact and pick that up. And that don't count for an action, that's just something that he did. Now his second action, I have to think on this. For a second action, I want to do a combat here because I've never done it yet. So you can see here, this is his stuff that he can do because he got no more energy. So he's going to have to do something that don't cost energy. He can use which is called Impact Web. It has a range of 4 It's 4 dice rolled and it costs no energy. And it also states, after this attack is resolved, this character gains 1 energy. And if I roll a wild symbol, it says push. If the target character is size 2 or less before damage is dealt, this character may push away small. As you can see, he is within range 4 easily, so he's going to target and hit Crossbones. So let's gather up the appropriate dice and start rolling. Now, Spider-Man's attack is a physical one and he gets 4 dice, and Crossbones' physical defense is 4 dice. So I got the attack dice ready to go, and we're going to follow what it says in the book for the attack sequence. Activation sequence. Number 1, choose an attack. Did it. Spider-Man is choosing to attack Crossbones with his impact webbing. Step number 2, declare a target. Going to be Crossbones. Step number 3, create attack dice pool. Did that. There's 4. And step number 5, create defense dice pool. 4. Roll the attack dice. So Spider-Man is attacking. Here goes. So he got 1 hit. 1 hit. No wilds, no nothing else, just 1 stinking hit. Spider-Man didn't have his Wheaties this morning. Roll defense dice. Okay. Here goes. These are Crossbones. Now, he did not roll a defense. This skull means he can't re-roll if he had the ability, so he can't do that. That don't trigger. This is a hit. It's not a defense. And he rolled 2 blank. The next step would be resolve criticals, but we don't have any criticals. Next step, modify own attack, own dice. So I can't modify because I don't have anything to modify for Spider-Man. And then modify opposing dice. There's nothing that I can modify here. So then the next thing is calculate success or failure. So 1 hit Spider-Man did, he went through because Crossbones did not block any of them. So 1 physical damage so far. Resolve effects before damage. So no effects, so damage is 1. Apply damage, attack is resolved. Resolve effects after the attack. So because of this, Crossbones is going to take 1 damage, but Crossbones got a special ability, and I'm going to use it now just to show everybody. Let's go to his card to show you. So right now, 1 point of damage for Crossbones. On Crossbones' card, I should say, he has a superpower which is inured to pain. So he's immune to pain, kind of. If this character suffers damage, which he suffered 1 wound, it may use this superpower, reduce the amount of suffer by 1. So it costs 1 energy, so he's going to spend 1 energy to reduce that 1 damage down to no damage. So that is 0 damage on Crossbones because he used his superpower of injured. He also has aggressive. After an attack, targeting this character is resolved. If the character suffers wounds, which he did, it may advance small towards the attacking character, and I'm going to do that, and it costs nothing because it's an ability that is always active. You can see Crossbones is just moving straight towards Spider-Man, and he ends his turn right there. And that ends Spider-Man's his turn. I was going to say actability, but Spider-Man's turn. Now, just to show you, one of the team-up cards or team cards that I have here, it says Patch Up Unaffiliated. It's an active one. Choose a non-dazed allied character. Another allied character within 2 of the chosen character may spend up to 5 energy to play this card. Remove wounds from the chosen character equal to the energy spent on this card. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is just say that he got more than 1 wound, or Crossbones choose not to use his superpower ability. And when he was back here, he was within 2 of Iron Man, so Iron Man could have spent an energy to remove that wound, but because he didn't have to, because he had that superpower and moved, we don't need to use this card, so that goes back. It's not discarded. We can say that for another one. I'm trying my best to learn to use these cards. I keep forgetting about them, so just bear with me for that. please. So that ends Spider-Man's turn. Now we're on to Captain America's team. On Cap's team, we are going to activate none other than Dr. Octavius, or Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus, Otto Octavius here. And what he's going to do is he's going to use a physical attack. It's called Strike. It's at range 3, 4 dice. It don't cost any energy to use this. And it states, after this attack is resolved, the character gains energy equal to the amount of wounds dealt. Fury of Arms. When making an attack, each wild symbol in the attack roll counts as 2 successes. So he's going to pick on none other than the Black Widow right here, and he's within 3, because a Black Widow has stealth. He has to be within 3 to be able to attack. And he is, so he's going to attack Black Widow with that, with 4 dice. And then we'll go to the dice box and resolve that. But before we do that, because Crossbones did take a damage, he did rectify it, but he still would get the energy for that before resolving it. So he's got 1 energy for the previous turn where Spider-Man did damage 1, hit him for 1. Yes. So every time an enemy takes damage, and things are resolved before special abilities or what have you. Oh no, he wouldn't take that because he used a superpower to ignore the pain and spend the 1 energy, so that's gone. I did it right the first time. Scratch that! So Doc Ock's attack pool is 4 for physical, and Black Widow's defense for physical is 3. So first we gathered the dice pool, declared the target, pay the power cost, create attack dice pool, create defense dice pool, roll the attack dice. Oh, okay, this is a good thing. So right now he's got 1 critical and 3 that didn't do nothing. So I rolled the attack. Now before we resolve this, we need to roll the defense. And she blocked Donata, nothing, because she got 2 hits and a skull. So because of that, this counts as a success, plus on top of that, he gets to roll 1 more. Now, with the initial roll, when you're playing this, whenever you roll this critical, you get to roll 1 extra die. But if I roll this extra die to get another critical, it don't mean I get another one on top of that. It's just on your first initial roll. So it is blank. Whoops, I flipped it. But it is blank, so that's 1 damage going to Black Widow. Because he hit Black Widow, he gets an energy, because it does say here, after this attack is resolved, the character gains energy equal to the damage dealt. He also has Fury of Arms, but I didn't roll a wild symbol, so that is not going to take effect. Black Widow takes the wound. Unfortunately, she's 2. She can take 4 before she comes wounded, so she's halfway there. Now also too as well is because she's so close to the Extremist Council, the 3.0, she could have spent 1 of these as an interact to get rid of 1 of the wounds, but she didn't, and the reason why is because we're done with the attack that Doc Ock did. Now, she kind of was thinking that this was going to happen, so now she is going to do what's called Counter-Strike. This here is a reactive superpower, don't cost an action, and it's out of her turn sequence. After an attack against this character is resolved, it may use this superpower. If the attacker is within 3, which Doc Ock is, roll 4 dice. Deal 1 damage to the attacker for each critical and wild symbol rolled. So she's going to do a counter strike against Doc Ock now. 4 dice for Black Widow's counter strike. And she got nothing. Well, she spent her energy to do a counter strike, but it was unsuccessful. I guess Doc Ock was just too aware of it and his arms extended out and blocked. So yeah, that's what happened. And that was Doc Ock's first action. Also on Doc Ock's card now, he has, which is an ability that's always on, Scientific Hubris. Whenever the character rolls dice, after the effect is resolved, it gains 1 energy if it rolled at least 1 critical. And during the attack it did, so it gets that energy, or he gets that energy, so that is that. Now, again, that was only the first action that Doc Ock did. For the second action, He may just use laser arms because he has enough energy now to do it, because the cost is 3, range of 4, 6 dice. This attack ignores line of sight, and the defending character does not benefit from cover. If I roll a wild, pierce. Change one of the defending character's criticals or wilds or the shield to blank results. So he's going to spend his 3 energy here, and he's going to do the laser. Now this here is energy blast or energy effect attack. So 6 dice, and we already know that she's in range 4. Whew, okay, let's gather the dice pool and go over there. Because this here is an energy attack, he's got 6 dice, but Black Widow only has 2 energy defense, so this is going to be bad for Black Widow. She already has 2 damage. Oh, here goes. Doc Ock's going at her. Whoa, this is crazy, because that's 1 success, 2 success, 3 success, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 hits. He hit with everything. I think Black Widow was completely done here. So this is her defense. And she rolled 1 exclamation. But remember, Doc Ock has that pierce ability where you take this and you would modify that to a blank. So she never defended anything. And on top of that, he has 2 criticals. So he'd roll 2 more dice. And that's another hit. So that's 7 hits onto Black Widow. Black Widow is not going to be able to defend that. And she's carrying one of them cosmic cube fragments. So you know what that means, right? That means she is knocked out exactly where she stands. She goes to the wounded side. She can't even activate this round. And she loses the cosmic cube fragment. Because Black Widow was carrying a fragment shard and she got dazed, or well, it is dazed. She's not knocked out for the game. She's dazed. On page 12, it does say around here, just above the example part, that if she gets, the other character gets places within range 2 of the character. So pretty much the character drops it, but the opposing player gets to place it where they want. So it could benefit them by putting it closer, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. It's got to be at range 2 or less. So let's go do that. You can see here, Black Widow is dazed, and this here is where she dropped it. It's at range 2. I'm choosing to put it right here in base contact with Captain Marvel. Just like that. So just be aware of that. Because Black Widow is dazed, we take the healthy side of the card, flip it over, and she loses all of her wounds conditions, but she gets a dazed token. That's just a reminder that if we're going to go and activate her this time, we can't, because she's dazed. Because dazed characters cannot activate the same round. It has to wait till the next round to be able to come back to life. Also, going by the scientific hubris, he also gets another energy because he rolled a definite critical, so he gets the 1 energy. He rolled more than 1 critical, but it says resolve, it gains 1 if he rolled at least 1 critical. He rolled more than 1 critical, but he only get 1. So that is Doc Ock's 2 actions, but he may use a superpower here, but he can't because it only has 2. If he had 3, he could use to do the clutches and possibly try to take out, actually no he wouldn't because it's size 2, Ultron size 3. But anyhow, that is Doc Ock's activation. He is done, and we're on to Red Skull's team. We're going to activate Baron Zemo. Now, what Zemo is going to do, because he has 2 energy onto here, he is going to do charge. Now, this here is a superpower. It don't count as one of his actions. And it says, action. This character immediately makes a move action followed by an attack action. This superpower can only be used once. So he's going to spend his 2 energy, and he is going to attack Crossbones. His movement is large. You can see here I have it laid out, and Crossbones is around here. So he is going whoosh, just like that. now he gets to make a free attack action because it is part of his superpower. And he's in within range 2 because Baron Zemo is going to do Sword Strike. It costs 0 energy. And it's range 2, 5 dice. After this attack is resolved, this character gains energy equal to the amount of damage dealt. And if he hits him, and by rolling a wild, it's bleed. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains the bleed special condition. So he can potentially get bleed, and that's Crossbones. So let's go roll the dice and see what happens. Before we do that, you can tell that it is definitely within range 2, so he's able to make that attack. Before we go on any further, I just want to mention that if you are still watching this video up to this point, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to subscribe to other videos such as more Marvel Crisis Protocol games. And on top of this, this video may be a 2-part episode because it is learning the game by playing it, or it could be just one. In either case, it may be a little longer than normal battle reports because we are going through this and learning it as we go along. Alrighty, so attack dice pool is 5. And for Crossbones, physical defense is 4. Now, going by the attack sequence again, choose an attack, declare an attack, pay power cost, create attack pool, create defense pool. Roll attack dice. Here goes. Oh, so that is going to be 2 wilds, which is going to be 2 hits. So, now we have to roll the defense for Crossbones. And he's got a wild, this, and this. Okay, so now this wild is counting as defense, plus this critical gets to be able to roll 1 more die initially. So that's another wild. So that is 4. So he pretty much is going to block the 2 hits. But we're going to look at the cards and just see if there's anything else that goes on. Because Crossbones have defended so successfully, the bleed don't even go through from Baron Zemo. And the reason why is because you have to resolve it first. So he blocked 2 of them, so then 2 would be gone. And there's still 2 left. So therefore, Baron Zemo did not do anything at all to Crossbones. But Crossbones has the ability that if he wants to, he can advance small to because it's an innate ability that he has, which means it's always there and it's always active. Let's look at Crossbones' card just to confirm. Correction. So it says here it's aggressive. That's what I was referring to. After an attack targeting this character is resolved, which it is, but he didn't get any damage. If this character suffered damage, it may advance small towards the attacking character, but it did not get any damage, so therefore don't. And plus, on top of that, no energy is given to Crossbones because he's not taking any damage. So that is a successful or unsuccessful attack from Baron Zemo. But that was his first action because no, that wasn't even his first action. That was his superpower. So now he's going to try to attack Crossbones again. Now Baron Zemo has a special ability which is called Strategic Genius. And this character and allied characters within range 2 may reroll 1 die in their attack or defense pool. But even if he re-rolled 1 of his die, because Crossbones has blocked as much stuff, it's not going to make much of a difference. So if I made a mistake for that, I'm sorry, but we'll continue on. So this here is Baron Zemo's first action now. And he's going to be using his Sword Strike again. So that's 5 dice. So let's see what happens here. He's got any more luck? No, not really. He got 1 damage on him. And Crossbones' defense, physical defense, is 4. So, yeah, he blocked it. Not even a sweat. So no damage was taken at all. No energy is exchanged. So now, Baron Zemo is going to try 1 more time to attack Crossbones because he's determined. So that's 5 again. Oh, that's a little better. So now he's got 1, 2, 3 successes, but he does get to roll 1 more. I flipped that. It wasn't actually a success because he got the critical. Rolls 1 more, but he rolls that. So that's 3 damage going towards poor old Crossbones. Let's see if Crossbones can pull off any defense. So that's 2 wild. So he's going to be able to block 2, but he does get to re-roll again because he got the initial roll of the critical, and that's not going to count. So that's going to be 2 blocks. So these cancel out those 2, and there's 1 actual hit going through onto Crossbones. Now, because Zemo hit him, and he does 1 actual damage, he gets 1 energy for that attack. And Crossbones get hit for 1, so he gets 1 wound and 1 energy. There's the wound and the energy that he gets because he get hit. All right, and that ends Baron Zemo's activation. Activation token for Baron Zemo, and it's on to Captain America's team. Who's going to go now? Maybe Crossbones should go and just return the favor, because you don't have to worry about Spider-Man, because Spider-Man already activated. All right, Board Game Maniacs, because this here is a learning video for me, and we're playing the tutorial mission. Hopefully I'm not making too many rules mistakes, but again, the video is going over a little longer than expected because I'm stopping, I'm reading rules, checking rules. I'm also doing it on camera, which adds more length to this video. So because of that, what we are doing here is we're going to add a second video. So we're going to finish this battle report in the second video, and we're going to see exactly who it is that's going to win, if it's going to be Red Skull's team or Captain America's team. I guess you're just going to have to tune in and watch the next video and find out the exciting conclusion to this. So until then, stay safe, play some games, and most importantly of all, and that is, be a maniac. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Boo!
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to keep up to date with Board Game Maniacs, click on the like and subscribe button to be notified when more videos come available. If you want to become an official sponsor of Board Game Maniacs, go to patreon.com/BoardGameManiacs. Or you can go to streamlabs.com/BoardGameManiacs1. That's right, and you can donate to help keep the lights on, keep food in our bellies, and play more games. We'll purchase more games, more equipment to make Board Game Maniacs evolve and get bigger and larger because of you, the viewers. I thank you from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head for all of your support. And until next time, Board Game Maniacs, be a maniac.